Hello, my name is Tanika Williams, and today I will be presenting my self care intervention plan. This project reflects on my self care assessment, results, and outlines a structured plan to strengthen my well being. Next, let's look at the purpose of this presentation. The purpose of this presentation is to reflect on my self care assessment, identify strengths and areas of growth, and share a research based plan that supports survival, coping, and thriving. My goal is to demonstrate how intentional self care practices can sustain both personal and resilience and professional advocacy. Sorry, I can't say that word. Advocacy. Now let's move into the results of my self assessment. My strongest practices are in emotional and relational self care. I consistently spend time with loved ones, journal, maintain supportive connections. I also engage in spiritual practices such as prayer and reflection. However, I scored lower in the physical self care, particularly in sleep, exercise, and taking vacations. Psychological self care was moderate, with occasional journaling and stress management, but limited time for reflection and breaks from technology. These results show that while I prioritize emotional and relational well being, I need to strengthen physical and psychological habits to achieve balance. Let's look at how these results connect to my current practices and challenges. Sorry, I went too far on my slide. Let me go back one. To address these gaps, I developed a weekly plan for self care. I would set aside consistent bedtime exercise twice a week and plan regular rest periods for psychological self care. I would practice mindfulness, meditation, schedule tech free reflection time, and continue journaling with structured prompts. At the same time, I would reinforce my strengths by maintaining supportive relationships, continuing continuing prayer, and engaging in advocacy work that sustains my sense of purpose. Now let's look at the intervention plan and weekly schedule that makes this plan actionable. My intervention plan includes three components. First, interventions such as mindfulness apps, exercise routines, and journaling prompts. Second is the resources like campus counseling, wellness services, peer peer study groups, and child care supports. Third is safeguards such as accountability partners, structured routines, and coping strategies for stressful times. My weekly schedule reflects this plan a consistent bedtime, exercise on week Wednesdays and Saturdays, daily, daily mindfulness and journaling, and weekly tech-free reflection blocks. This structure ensures balance across physical, psychological, and emotional and spiritual domains. Next, I'll explain the rationale behind these choices supported by scholarly evidence. This is a chart of a week to explain how I will go about my week. This plan is grounded in research. Shapora Brown and Miguel 2027 found that mindfulness reduces stress, improves resilience. The CDC emphasized that physical activity enhances mental health and quality of life. Cohen and Willis demonstrated that social support buffers stress and strengthens coping by applying these evidence-based strategies. I can improve balance, resilience, and long-term well-being. Let's now review the references that guided my plan. Conclusion. Completing a self-assessment allowed me to recognize both areas where I'm thriving and those that require greater attention. By developing a structured weekly plan, I am commit I am committed to intentionally practicing that strengths my physical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual, relational, professional well-being. This plan not only addresses immediate needs, but also support my long-term goals of resiliency, balance, and effective advocacy. Self-care is the foundation that allows me to survive, cope, thrive, and ultimately serve others. Sorry, y'all, I caught a cold. Through advocacy and leadership. Thank you for watching my self-assessment guide.